What's the deal with Librela? The FDA released this Dear Veterinarian letter about Librela, and none of us were really surprised by it. This letter cited several adverse events that weren't necessarily seen in the clinical trials, and not necessarily reported in other countries that have used Librela, such as ataxia, seizures, and other neurologic signs. And as I said, most of us veterinarians were not surprised by this release. On listservs and Facebook groups, veterinarians have talked about this drug since it came out, a vast majority talking about how amazing it is. But there have been some cases that have called the safety of it into question, with neurologists kind of leading the charge, seeing an uptick in cases secondary to Librela. With veterinarians asking, is Librela causing it, or is Librela unmasking pre-existing conditions? Because by far and away, the patients using Librela are older. In some of the cases, we have the answer, where the drug company paid for things like MRI, CT scans, and necropsies, and found underlying cancers in the spine, brain, etc. But not every case is that clear-cut. And it still raises the question as to why this was not reported in other countries that have had Librela much longer. Case selection seems to be a huge component of it, where maybe none of these patients had osteoarthritis to begin with and really had something neurologic going on. Human medicine has looked at nerve growth factor antibody for osteoarthritis, and did find some adverse events, but not like we're seeing in VetMed. And human research is looking into this for cancer pain in humans. I'm curious to see what the Freedom of Information Act comes out about these cases, because I don't doubt that there are adverse events. There's adverse events to every medication. I want to know how many were pre-existing.